Two entrepreneurs launch ads for the same product on the same day, same budget, same niche, same platform. One of them loses over $4,000 in a week and shuts it down. Tells his wife ads don't work, goes back to positioning himself on social media and hoping for the best. The other one turns that same $4,000 into $40,000 in 30 days, and then does it again the next month, and then again the month after that. Same starting point, completely different outcomes. And here's what's different. It's not talent, it's not luck, and it sure as hell isn't the algorithm. It's that one of them was guessing and the other one had a system. So welcome to the Thinking Big podcast. I'm your host, Sean Osborne. And if you're new here, I'm a business performance coach and strategist. I built a multi-million-dollar tech company before I was 30, and I was a top performer in a launch recently that sold $105 million in 72 hours. And that leads directly to today's episode, why this episode even exists. And I've spent years in the trenches alongside people like Russell Brunson, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, and Alex Hormozi, not watching from the sidelines, but in the rooms, running the plays. And if there's one thing all of that has taught me, it's this. People who win are not smarter than you. They are not luckier than you. They just have a better system than you. And today I'm handing you one of those systems, a very important system. And I'm going to break down exactly why 99% of ads fail. And it's not the reason that you think. And I'm going to show you a framework that takes one campaign, one ad campaign, and turns it into 750 unique ad combinations, each one surgically targeted to the exact person who needs to see it. And I'm going to explain why the best ads in the world cannot save a broken business and what you need to build instead. This is an episode I wish someone had handed me before I had ever spent a single dollar on advertising, but I had to learn the hard way. So if you've ever opened your ads manager with a knot in your stomach wondering if today, is it going to be the day that I finally crack the code or the day I finally go broke? This one is for you. So let's get into it. So let me ask you something. When you log into your ads manager, what happens to your body? Not in your head, in your body. Does the chest tighten? Does your jaw clench? Do you hold your breath before the dashboard actually loads? Yes, I know that feeling because I have lived that feeling and I've been there, I've done that. That is your subconscious mind firing. That's your brain's threat detection system. The same one that kept your ancestors alive in the savannah, and it's lighting up like a Christmas tree because you've trained to associate your ad spend with danger. And here's the thing, your subconscious mind isn't wrong because the way that most people run ads, it is dangerous. It's a slot machine. You pull the lever, you hope for the best, and most of the time you get nothing. You see other people hitting the jackpot. You see the screenshots. You see the I scaled to $100,000 a month post. So you keep feeding the machine. And that is not a strategy. That is a dopamine loop. That's your brain getting the same neurochemical hit that a gambler gets, and not from winning, but from the possibility of winning. And it will eat you alive. What if you could kill the slot machine and build a vending machine instead? A system where you put $1 in and you get $1.50 out. Not sometimes, not hopefully, not if Mercury is in retrograde and the algorithm gods are smiling, every single time. That is not a fantasy. That is an architecture. And today I am pulling back the curtains all the way back on exactly how it works. This is what I call the Ignite campaign strategy. And by the time we're done, you're going to look at advertising completely different. So why do most ads fail? Let's start there. Why do most of them actually fail? And I don't mean underperform. I mean crash and burn, money gone, nothing at all to show for it. And here's what most people think the problem is. They think it's the creative. The hook wasn't catchy enough. The video wasn't polished enough. The copy wasn't clever enough. And look, that stuff matters. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it doesn't matter, but it's like worrying about the paint color on a house that has absolutely no foundation. It is the last piece of the puzzle, and most people are starting with it because it is the most visible piece that you can work on. The real reason your ad fails is simpler and far more brutal than you want it to be. You are talking to the wrong people with the wrong message at the wrong time. You're walking into a library and screaming through a megaphone, "Buy my thing." You're not going to get customers. You're going to get your ass kicked out. And here's what makes it even worse. Your conscious brain, the strategic, the analytical part of your brain, it knows something is off. It knows that there has to be a better way. But your subconscious mind keeps overriding it because it wants the quick fix, the magic hook, the viral ad, the one tweak that changes everything overnight. That's the lie your own brain is telling you. The truth is, there is no magic hook. There's only a magic system, and that system has layers. So let's walk through every single one of those layers for you. Every skyscraper starts below ground, and every killer ad campaign starts with something that most entrepreneurs skip entirely: deep, obsessive market research. I'm not talking about a quick Google search and a ChatGPT prompt. I'm talking about becoming an absolute detective, borderline stalker of your market. Before we write a single word of ad copy in our Ignite system, we go into the trenches, and I mean the real trenches. We read the 1-star and the 5-star Amazon reviews for every competitor's book in the space. We scour Reddit for threads where your ideal customer is up at 2 a.m. anonymously venting about their problems. We dig through Facebook groups, the YouTube comments, the Quora answers, and we're not reading casually. We are hunting. We are absolutely hunting. We're hunting for 4 things. 1, their exact words. Not what you think that they're feeling, the actual language that they use when they describe their pain at 2 a.m. when nobody's watching. Number 2, the solutions that they've tried and failed, because this tells you what they're skeptical about and what objections they already have loaded and are ready to fire at you. Number 3, the secret desires they're almost afraid to admit. The thing that they want that feels too big, too greedy, too unrealistic to say it out loud. And number 4, the enemy. Who or what do they blame for their situation? Because when your ad names their enemy, you become their ally instantly. This is the part that most people skip. And it's the part that makes everything else actually work. Because you are not creating a message. You are discovering the message that's already there. We're pulling the words right out of their mouth and reflecting right back to them. And when someone sees an ad that uses their exact language to describe their exact problem, it doesn't feel like an ad. It feels like someone is reading their mind, and that is the foundation. And most people never break that ground. Okay, so you've got the raw intel, you've done the detective work, now you need to organize it. And this right here, this is the part that separates the amateurs from the architects and the pros. It's a concept called the 5 levels of market awareness. Now, this isn't something that I invented. It goes back to Eugene Schwartz, one of the greatest copywriters who ever lived, but most people have never heard of it, and even fewer actually use it. Think of your market as a ladder with 5 rungs on it. Every single person in your market is standing on one of those rungs. Everyone, no matter what, they're standing on one of those rungs right now. And here's the key. The rung that they're standing on determines exactly what your ad needs to say to them, not what you want to say, what they need to hear. And let me walk you through every single rung on the ladder. So rung number 1, the very bottom, completely unaware people. These people don't even know that they have a problem. They're just living their life, scrolling the feed, eating their dinner. You cannot sell these people a solution. They'd look at you like you are absolutely crazy. Your ad has to do one thing: make them realize something is off. Plant a seed of curiosity, create a pattern interrupt that makes them go, wait, what? And we call these curiosity-driven ads. And it's the hardest ad to write, but when you nail it, it opens up the biggest audience in your entire market. All right, rung number 2, problem aware. They know something is wrong. They feel the pain, but they don't know that there is a solution out there for them. They think this is just how it is. This is the way the cookie crumbled for me. And they think that they're just stuck. Now, your ad does not sell the product, at least not yet. It sells the existence of a solution. It says, hey, that thing that's been keeping you up at night, there is a way out. This is what we call a pain-driven ad. And it works because you are using the exact language that you found during those 2 a.m. Reddit threads, right? It's using their language. All right, rung number 3 is solution aware. They know a solution exists. They're shopping. They're comparing. They know about a coaching or a course or a software or whatever category you're in. They just don't know about you yet. Your ad doesn't sell your product yet. It sells your approach. It says, hey, here's why this type of solution is different from everything else that you've ever tried. And this is what we call a promise-driven ad. Now, rung number 4 is product aware. They know about you. They've seen your stuff. Maybe they're on your email list, or maybe they've watched your video, but they're not convinced, not yet. This is where you hit them with the proof ads, case studies, testimonials, screenshots, data, results that are specific. They cannot be faked. This is what we call, again, a proof-driven ad. All right, now the final one, rung number 5, the most aware. And this is just a fraction of the market. This is such a small portion of the market. These people already want what you have. They're standing at the register with their credit cards out. They just need a reason to act right now instead of someday. Your ad is the offer, the deadline, the bonus, the here's what you get when you do it today and you do it right now. Now, I hope you see what just happened. We went from one ad that screamed the same thing to everybody to 5 completely different conversations, each one matching exactly where that person is in their journey. You stop being that damn guy with the megaphone and you become the person who whispers the perfect thing at the perfect time. That's how you stop being annoying. That's how you start being the answer to someone's prayer. That's not marketing. That's empathy at scale. All right, so we have the research. We have the 5 levels of awareness. Now we build the damn machine, and this is where it gets really, really fun. The Ignite system runs a framework that I call the 50-5-3. I learned this one from Alex Hormozi, and once you see it, you will never look at ad creation the same way again. Layer 1 is 50 hooks. You write 10 different hooks for each of the 5 levels of awareness. 10 hooks that stop the completely unaware mid-scroll. 10 hooks that grab the problem aware by the collar. 10 hooks that intrigue the solution aware. 10 hooks that convince the product aware. And 10 hooks that activate the most aware. Every single one of them is built from the market research, from their words, their pains, and their desires. We are not guessing here. We are not guessing what might work. We're engineering what must work. Now, layer 2 is the 5 bodies. This is where the main body of the ad, the middle of the section, the thing that does the heavy lifting after the hook stops the scroll. And we create 5 different versions. Version number 1 is demonstration. Show the product working, show the transformation happening in real time, proof that you can actually see. Version number 2 is testimonial. A real customer telling their real story, not scripted, not polished, raw and believable. Version number 3 is the educational type ads, mini training that provides so much value that the viewer thinks to themselves, if this is the free stuff, what is the paid stuff like? Version number 4 is story, a personal narrative, transformation, the hero's journey in 60 seconds. Because your conscious is wired for story. It's the oldest technology for transferring belief from one human to another. Version 5 is faceless ads, text on screen, graphics, B-roll, designed for the 80% of the people who are scrolling with the sound off. Because if your ad doesn't work with mute on, you're going to be invisible to most of the people in the market. So different formats, different platforms, different consumption habits, all covered. Layer 3 is the 3 CTAs, the call to actions, the final push, and we test 3 variations. One built on urgency, like this disappears Friday. One built on a guarantee, like if this doesn't work, you pay nothing. And one that's built on the bonus, act now and you'll also get XYZ. Because different people need different final nudges to get off the fence. Now, do the math with me. 50 hooks times 5 different bodies times 3 different call to actions, that's 750 different unique combinations from one system. Let that sink in. You're not throwing spaghetti at the wall anymore. You've built a guided missile system. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need all 750 to be winners. You just need to find the 3 to 4 combinations where the market screams yes, and the system finds those for you. Because you're not guessing anymore. You are running a diagnostic. You're letting the market vote with their clicks and their dollars. And the winners rise and the losers get cut, and you scale what works with confidence instead of hope. What I call the field of dreams marketing. You build it and they come, and it never, trust me, the field of dream marketing never comes, never works. This isn't gambling. This is engineering. Now, I got to be honest with you, because I'd be doing you a disservice if I let you walk away thinking a great ad campaign is all that you need. It is not. The Ignite system is powerful. It will get the people to your door. But what happens when they walk through the door? They go to the landing page. They do the click. What's behind that door? Where do they land? What is the funnel? What's the offer? And here's the truth that will sting. A brilliant ad campaign connected to a broken business model does not fix the business. It just sends more people faster to the thing that is broken. And it's like putting a Ferrari engine in a car with absolutely no brakes. You're just going to crash harder and faster. And this is where we zoom out all the way from running ads to building what I call a revenue architecture. The revenue blueprint isn't about one campaign. It's about the entire system. From the ads that bring people in, that's the fire part, the part that we just talked about, to the products that they buy. That's the forge part. Is your offer dialed in? Is it productized? Can it scale without you being the bottleneck? That's the skill part. That's the full picture. And the ad, the brilliant 750 combination guided missile ad system, that's one gear in the machine. And it's an important gear, but it's just one. So here's my challenge to you right now for today. Stop thinking about your next ad. Start thinking about your system. Ask yourself 3 questions. Am I talking to the right people with the right message at the right stage of their journey? Because if you can't answer yes to all 3 of those, your ads aren't broken. Your architecture is. And once you fix the architecture, everything changes. The knot in your stomach's gone. The gambling's over. The hope-based marketing is dead. And in its place, a machine, a system, a business that works whether you're at your desk or you're at the beach watching your granddaughter ride her first roller coaster ride. That's the game. That's thinking big. Now run the damn program.